Hello YouTube, ultramegamighty. This is it. No more goats to strangle. No more archviles to hate. No more BFG 9000. Until the next Doom game is released, this is the final entry for the Doom series. It's okay. Resurrection of Evil is a generically named, generically themed, generic expansion for Doom 3. It's been several months since the first demonic invasion, and UAC goes back to Mars because nothing like that could ever happen again, ever. There's a strange signal that's been broadcasting for a while, and they're trying to find the source of it because absolutely nothing could go wrong in doing so. They've been digging around for a bit and finally find the source of the signal, which is some really ugly heart thing. Naturally, one of the Marines in the group that found it reports it to the UAC science team and waits for... Or maybe he just grabs the fucking thing, gets his squad killed, and opens a gateway to hell. That's fine, too. A second invasion begins promptly, and with a reduced staff, this one is over even faster than the first one. Your job now is to get back to the science team, all two of them, so they can instruct you on how to proceed. I wonder if that would have been useful, before Doom Guy grabbed the artifact. Good job being a 5-year-old and needing to see with your hands, asshole. So the science team says, take that fugly heart thing back to hell so it can be destroyed for good. And Doom Guy says nothing and just fucking does it because there's nothing he can say because all this shit is his fault. Fucking asshole. See, in all the other Doom games, you're just all la-di-da minding your own fucking business. Then demons show up and revoke everyone's life membership card except yours. For this game, the guy you play as grabbed the heart thing like an idiot and opened the gateway. Now, did he summon the demons personally? No. But he sure as shit opened the damn door. Standing in your way are plenty of the original monsters, as well as a few new ones, since the monster roster wasn't bloated enough already and decided it was going to just sit back and add monster pounds with monster ice cream because Doom Guy thought her legs were tubby. The new bosses are neat, but the new regular enemies just don't feel that imaginative. The Vulgar is just a tougher imp, and the Bruiser is just a mashup of a Hell Knight and a Mancubus. Both of them are tough and dangerous, but not really all that creative. Not really all that necessary either. Oh, and don't forget the hazmat suit zombie. It's a zombie in a hazmat suit. It actually served a gameplay purpose in the regular version. The areas it was in required you to use your suit to breathe, and killing those zombies was the only way to get air tanks. Those areas are no longer filled with toxic gas, so the air tanks are no longer an issue, basically defeating the purpose of the zombies even being in the game. And the Forgotten Ones are just lazy. They're lost souls, remodeled to look the way they did in the classic games, and that's it. If you're going to retcon something, just retcon it. Don't try to sell it as something new when it's the same thing in new skin. And the BFG edition pulled a pretty serious nerf later on as well, but I'll cover that in a bit. The new bosses, the Hunters, are really the main attraction here. The Helltime Hunter, Berserk Hunter, and Invulnerability Hunter all feed their power into your fugly Valentine's Day super weapon when killed, eventually making you an uber god of death when you use it. Each use requires a human soul, which you get from bodies of people that died but didn't get zombified or eaten. They're also just a tad too common for a weapon this powerful, especially once you have the Berserk power halfway through the expansion. Due to that particular power greatly boosting the damage output of all of your weapons, even the biggest, nastiest, toughest demons will go down to a single rocket headshot. Or a single punch, because why not? Strangely, the designers only force you to use the Helltime power to solve puzzles a handful of times, which is really odd because this thing screams to be used for puzzle solving. I mean, they're already shoving a gravity gun mechanic down your throat. Might as well use it in conjunction with the slowed time mechanic and create some really interesting and devious puzzles. I'm a little mixed on this one, because while I feel like it was a missed opportunity, I'm also of the mindset that puzzles like that really don't belong in Doom. To me, Doom is supposed to be, hit this switch to get this key to open this door to kill more demons. Very simple. As for the gravity gun thing I mentioned, this is it right here. The Grabber shares a lot in common with Half-Life 2's gravity gun, but there are also quite a few differences. And no, they didn't rip it off. If they ripped it off, the grabber would be way better. In short, it's the gravity gun on meth, and it fits a little better with the horror theme. Not that the horror theme is continued very well. This expansion focuses a lot more on combat and doesn't really do much in the scare department. The levels are well designed, but are also full of tighter spaces that are small enough to force faster, more hectic combat and gameplay in general. Because of this, the levels seem to go by a lot faster, but you'll find yourself relying on the demonic artifact a lot to save ammo and deal with the heavy hitters getting dropped in your face. They weren't quite as generous with the health, armor, and ammo pickups this time around, planning the levels around players using their gross heart MacGuffin to get out of the stickier situations. At least the power trip it gives you is satisfying. Speaking of power trips, the final new weapon is the Super Shotgun. Just like in Doom 2, it unloads a storm of pellets and does massive damage up close. But, much like the regular Doom 3 shotgun, isn't very good past point-blank range. To be fair though, there isn't much in the game that can take a double-barrel shot to the face and still have enough functional bits to be considered living. So, that's just about it. But one thing I definitely need to go over is the nerfing Doom 3 and its expansion received for the BFG edition. Trust me, it's relevant. The major change to Doom 3 was almost entirely just more generous ammo. That's not too bad, but it hampers the horror theme a bit when you're never short on vitamin death pills for your guns. Resurrection of Evil got a similar treatment, but far more noticeable, especially at the end. They removed an entire section of hell, which I guess they thought was too hard. Now, to be clear, it was hard. Incredibly hard. Anyone that could beat that section is definitely a solid 7 out of 10 in my ass-kicking gamer category. At least. To have that removed feels like a slap in the face to me. Seriously. Screw you guys. It was there before, and those of us that were good enough beat it. If we weren't good enough, we got better. It was a well-designed area, and it was a fitting challenge before a really tough final boss. Way tougher than the Cyber Demon. Or at least he was, because he got nerfed too. Not quite as bad as the final level, but it's still noticeable. He went from really tough to just tough. Guys, real talk. Just hear me out here. The expansion was pretty hard. A solid step in difficulty above Doom 3. Why make a high-definition collection of everything Doom and then start changing and cutting things? What you had was good. Not great, but definitely good. You were solidly in the it's quite good region. Why not just leave it alone? Why go and change things that didn't need to be changed? But I digress. That needs to be a topic for another time. In the end, Resurrection of Evil is still pretty fun, and is closer to classic Doom gameplay for those that wanted that out of Doom 3. The design does feel a little lackluster in a few ways, but again, the focus here is almost entirely on the combat. Remember that going in, and you'll still have a good time. Just remember to keep your trigger finger twitchy and your ears open, because there's always more vulgars to shoot at. If they'll just fucking die already. Seriously, just... damn it! How many of you are there?